Friday, July 17th. A day that is important for many different reasons. Obviously, in wrestling, July 17th, 2011. I think about the time right now, I'd be getting into the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match at the Money in the Bank pay per view. Apple uses July 17th for all of their like calendar things, like the emoji and the app icon, July 17th. But today, I have Joe, as always. But this is a totally different program because we were going to do a national preview. It was going to be great. We were going to try to have other people on, some of our friends, to kind of like hype up the national. And I got a text this morning at like 7 in the morning, and Joe was like, "Hey, are you free to call?" And I'm like, "Uh oh, what happened?" And my first instinct was like, "Uh oh, something happened. He can't go to the national." So me being me, I'm like, "Yeah, call immediately." Like now I gotta like figure out stuff or whatever. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to the airport," and I'm like, "What do you mean you're going to the airport? You're traveling national in 2 weeks. We're 12 days away, Joe." And
Well, originally you were like, "Oh,
yeah,
you don't tell me you're canceling in the national."
yeah, because I was like, which I mean, like like things happen. It happens. But I was like, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen. But then he tells me he's going to do something that he talked about. I want to say in November. When did this pop up on your radar? And I guess, do you want to just show it? I mean, is it, dare I say, it's one of the biggest cards of this person that you own? Maybe the biggest.
Definitely. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that toward the end. As you know, ever since I went to WrestleMania on a whim the year before last, flew out to Vegas to watch my favorite wrestler of all time, Triple H, get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Mike knows this as well as anybody. I was back and forth. Let's go, let's not go, let's go. Ticket prices are crazy. um Finally my wife was just like, yeah, like, I mean, why wouldn't you go? Like, we can have fun. Like, I'll go along. I've never done anything like that. Like, let's make it happen. And yeah, so ever since then I've just been really back on like this like wrestling kick. And it's a little bit different, like collecting wrestling now versus when we were first were getting into it. The cards have evolved so much. They're so premium. And I don't, like, Undisputed was as good as it got at one point. And
True.
I mean, I don't know that that would be a top, conservatively, like a top 7 or 8 product right now. Um, Anyways, yeah, so I've just been on this like wrestling kick, came back from that trip, brought my superfractor out on that trip, took a picture at the Hall of Fame at the Fountain Blue Hotel, had a lot of fun. Uh, and then ever since then, just been kind of in the lab, like, okay, like, what are the best cards? I want to get my hands on as much as I can. I know that it's gotten, really competitive, and it's gotten even more competitive since then. And I came across a post on Reddit, of all places, because I was searching high and low just for, I've learned over time. And I used to be like, one of my faults when you chase stuff like this is I would just kind of like, and I think the reason I did what I'm about to say is because for a while you could get away with just kind of being passive and just kind of letting things come to you. And I realized very quick, like post COVID, or entering COVID and then post COVID for sure, like, you've got to be on offense looking for this stuff before someone else finds it. Um, so you come across this post on Reddit that somehow, in the Reddit WWE groups, like, blown up, and somehow this post just kind of went crazy under the radar. I think it only had maybe like 14 upvotes and like two replies. So I quickly, and I didn't even I've been a long time like lurker on Reddit, but never had a Reddit handle or username or anything like that. I was in such a hurry that I didn't realize like once you make a Reddit that your name is like they assign you a name and you can switch it at the time that you register, but if you don't, then you're just that's your name. And my name's like something just
Random.
crazy. It's like financial ruin or something, which is kind of like this isn't
It's a
putting me
good
in
band
financial
name.
ruin, but
That's pretty. Yeah.
um uh but yeah, so I was in such a hurry to message this individual and ask him if it was available. Um, Learning even how to communicate on Reddit. I didn't I didn't want to reply to the post after like I sent him like they're called chats or would I guess would be like DMs. I didn't want to reply to the post because I didn't want to bump it back to the top. So I went to like his posts on something a totally random topic and said, "Hey, I sent you a message. I'm not sure if this is, like on Instagram, if you don't follow each other, it goes to like that weird box that some
Hmm.
people check, some people don't. Um, but yeah, this was to answer your question. This was back in May of last year. So it's been
May of last year.
May of last year is when we first made contact.
Okay.
I had
Wow.
been messaging him. I think the first time I came across it was actually like 2 days after WrestleMania,
Okay. I didn't
which
realize
was
it was
in
that long
April.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
so we started talking in May. We moved the conversation off of Reddit and we're kind of just, going back and forth. Like I'm trying to like obviously I want the card, right? There's no like hiding that. But also like I to be as genuine as possible. There's a balance between things being kind of transactional and like I honestly felt and not knowing like where this guy stood as far as like cards go or anything like that. What's his knowledge, what's his background in cards, like how did he get just I have so many questions, but at the same time I want to sell myself like as hey, like, if you're ever looking to move it, like I literally just got back from Las Vegas. I flew out, showed him the picture that I took of the Triple H Superfractor in front of the little fountain blue banner thing for
Hmm.
advertising the Hall of Fame. So like really like selling, but not in like a car salesman way. Just like, hey, like if I ever did, like I'm trying to put myself in that person's shoes. Like if somebody approached me and I just happened to have a card that somebody really, really wanted, like hoping that they would see like okay like this is for real, like this isn't somebody that's just wants it out of greed or to make a buck off of me or whatever the case may be, right? So a lot of messages just kind of back and forth, and a lot of it's kind of a little bit getting to know each other, but a little bit trying to like also like coordinate this because and rightfully so, everyone has a different risk tolerance. He wanted nothing to do with shipping the card. Nothing. Like it's like, hey, like, you know, fly out, whenever you can make arrangements, I'll hold it for you and, try to work around my work schedule. He's very busy individual, as we all are, but we finally were able to make it work. Um, and that took place today.
I mean, talk about the, I would say one of, if not the biggest Triple H card from the Panini era, like the 3 years or whatever that Panini had WWE, and that might be the biggest just because of what the black finite, aura around it. It's got such a big, it's such a big deal in cards where it's like, oh, like that's the one. If you have a player's black finite, one of them, like that's the one. Top's literally trying to like copy that same, pattern, that same, style, the same refractor kind of look, and I mean to own it, I think is a really big deal. And not only is it a big deal, but it's also for me the story behind it. Of okay, again, I thought it was November. I didn't realize it was May or like right after Mania. So it's literally like the chase of a year plus long storyline, if you will. You know, of you trying to not only get the card, but also not know if he might wake up one day and feel like, oh, I kind of want to keep it, or maybe somebody throws tons of money or something at him, a lot more than you would feel comfortable paying. But in my opinion, I always want a card to go to the rightful owner and to somebody that's going to appreciate it and not try to just make a buck or turn around and sell it off to somebody else and just move it along just to post it. I mean, I told you on the phone today. There's a line in a John Bellion song that it's basically nobody cares that you have it just as long as you claim it, essentially, just as long as they think you do. And I think a lot of what's going around the hobby, if you will, is I want to buy a card just to buy it so I could post it on Instagram and then sell it the next day or the next month or whatever. And I get it. That's how it is. People are trying to get stuff in and out, but when you scroll through a page or if you scroll through Instagram and you see certain cards, to me, I would like to think that that long paragraph that person took the time to write, hopefully they didn't AI generate it, they actually wrote it out, to me, hopefully meant something. And when you find out that that's sold within a month, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't mean as much. So for you to get this card, this big of a card that I would assume is going to be in your collection forever, if not for a very long time, especially how much work you've put into trying to get it. I just think that it's good that it ended up in your hands, and I think that hopefully the person who sold it realizes that, and obviously they did. And I truly think that like you did deserve to own that card, and I think it's well safe. And just the fact that you would fly somewhere for it, I wouldn't fly to anywhere for a card. I don't think so. I think that puts it on another pedestal, for me at least. So I mean, let me be the first to say congratulations. But
No, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and it's one of those things, right, where I think the time that it took, honestly, and it sounds so cliche, and I always used to like it's one of those things where you don't understand it until you've kind of been through it.
mm-hmm.
But like the fact that it wasn't easy and the fact that it was, like a lot of like, at first I was like, oh, I gotta get this, I gotta get this, like I gotta get this. Like you kind of mentioned, like before this guy, not that he gets wise, because it's not like my offer was unfair,
Yeah,
but there, at the end of the day, like there's so much competition,
yeah,
and
lots of competition now.
there's a lot of people that would like to have this card, some for their PC, a lot to capitalize on.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
For the Instagram feed, if you will.
or yeah, or to flip or whatever the case may be, right? Which is fine, it's all fair. But as time went on, and I kind of just this was a real growth project is kind of how I look at it, because I am not the most patient person. So I was forced to kind of be patient. I was forced to let go of like some control, because I don't have control in this. Like it's two people that got to come together and make this happen. Yeah, it was crazy, and there was a couple times where it looked like we were really close to making it happen sooner, but things, either life would have like something, he got busy, like we had kind of like penciled. It wasn't, this one felt a little bit different because just for different reasons, like we both were like kind of steadfast, and like it just without like reading them verbatim, it would be pretty hard to explain, but there was just it just felt different, so much so that I booked like I had never booked a flight before. I made it clear like, hey, I booked the flight, I'm coming. Little backstory, like he was a huge Knicks fan,
Congratulations to
and
him.
yeah, they just, they came off a championship. He got to go to game 2 or 3, I think. in San Antonio.
Many people are
So he
saying
drove over there and
if the Knicks didn't win the championship, maybe you don't get that card. Something to think about. Something to think
I
about.
yeah,
Shout
so
out Jalen
I
Brunson.
so like that was like kind of that was where this date it started with the NBA finals,
Mm,
which wasn't that long ago. It started with me just kind of like and again, it's not fake. Like I was happy for the guy. Like, he had expressed like his interest in the Knicks. I had asked him like, "Oh, you should, get into like, you know, because he's not as I've kind of picked up, he's not a huge card guy. He bought, I believe, just a Target blaster. These were, in blasters.
yeah.
He bought a $20-$30 blaster and pulled it. He told me today that at first he didn't even realize it was the 101,
Mm,
and then he put them all back in the box. And then and then he decided to randomly like look through them again like the next day, and
yeah.
he's like, this one looks different.
It's very different, sir. It's very different. And that's probably where the Steph Curry superfractor rookie, that's
I
probably where
mean,
all
yeah,
the stuff.
we could go off on a whole
Yeah. Crazy.
and so another thing about this person, beside his only social media was Reddit. Doesn't have Instagram, doesn't have Facebook, and he's young, a younger individual. Like, I
Mm,
mean, a young professional in his mid 20s, I believe. Um, yeah, like, and I told him, I was like, I told him today, like, yeah, first and foremost, like, thank you. I'm glad we finally got to make this happen. I'm big backstory guy. Like, I kind of wanted, I didn't want to like, I didn't need to know every detail, but I'm just so just absorbed in like the story.
hmm
Like, so he confirmed that he pulled it, and he told me about how he didn't even realize it was a 101 at first. He just thought it was, sometimes you get like, he's like, sometimes you get like the shiny ones, like the refractor, and
Yeah.
he's just, I don't know. Yeah. So
I mean, like I
yeah,
said, I'm glad that you got it. I'm glad that you finally got it after such a long, story to it. And I think that's literally at the end of the day what cards are about is the story, whether it be, you pulled it yourself, you picked it up at a show, or you traveled to Dallas on a random Friday 2 weeks before the national to pick up, the your main PC for wrestling's number one card, I guess, from Panini era. So it all comes in different forms, and I think this is why I wanted to do like a one off thing, because I do think it's a fun thing to capture. You literally just in the hotel. Like, I'm gonna look back on this and be like, remember that time you flew to Dallas just to pick up the Triple H, and you were just like, hey, just sitting in the hotel, probably going. I think you're going to the card show tomorrow, the Dallas card show. So
yeah, I'll be at the, yeah, I don't have to fly out until the afternoon, like later afternoon. So
okay,
while I'm here, it's like, might as well, knock any big show rust off and kind of see what, it'll serve as like a relatively large appetizer for
are
the
you gonna
national.
get one of the chains to wear the Triple H around and just like flex like, hey,
No,
look at
I
my
I mean,
Triple
I think
H.
it'll be a cool moment that, like, you'll see in the Instagram post, like, very few people knew about this. Like, you were like loosely like aware at, I'd say, at worst. Um, it'll be cool that you guys get to see it in person, I think, at the national,
You're
and
bringing it. Oh yeah, I forgot you're bringing it with.
I intend to grade it
Okay.
there. So, um,
So hey, I'm throwing this out there. PSA, Beckett, if you're watching, it's the same company now, so it doesn't matter. If we're watching and you know you are, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We if you
this
ever
probably
wanted to.
I've thought about this before. Like, it's almost like like you said, it would never work now. Maybe back when they were a little bit more head to head, of like them jockeying and like giving like promos or something. Like, I don't know, like, we want that in our slab. No, we
Yeah.
want that in our slab. We'll do this, just like an auction house. Like, oh, like, we typically make 20% commission, but we understand how much publicity and stuff this is going to drive.
Mm-hmm.
um we'll only take 5%.
Yeah.
whereas we normally take 20 or whatever.
So,
But
all right. Well,
as
I
far as
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Uh, as far as like where it ranks, and I wanted to kind of come because I said we would kind of round that out. It's subjective. Obviously, I'm biased. I think it's. I would say it's number one. His number one of the Panini era card. Um, However, I think a argument could be made for the 2022 Black Prism. I like the finite better than the plain black. Not to take, and again, I hate comparing two great things because you're kind of
Yeah.
diminishing one. But the first true Black Prism, I think, does carry a ton of weight.
I'd agree.
At the end of the day, there's three of those, and there's only one ever finite. So it depends where you put your weight as far as like valuing the one and only or the first of three. That would be you could get into flawless. There's the logo gems. His logo gem is like the Legends logo, which I wish it was the regular WWE. Just give me the regular WWE logo. He
Hmm.
got the Legends logo, which just it just gives me like makes me feel like it's from like he wrestled in like the 70s and 80s and
Yeah. Give
whatever.
me the scratch logo at least.
Yeah, yeah. So outside of that, I mean, that's it's between those two, I think, and I think you would get a lot of people that agree. And
Hmm.
either way, if we did a poll and everyone voted and this was number two, I'll take it. I don't care. I couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah. The other thing I wanna say at the end here. Hold it up one more time. And
Keep in mind too, like yeah, like for the autograph people at home,
you're gonna get it signed,
love I
right?
love what's up.
You're gonna get it signed, right?
No. Triple H never signed for Panini.
No, I know.
On card.
I'm just saying. And yeah, once again, Joe, congratulations. And here's to here's to the next biggest Triple H that you can get, which could be anything.